In honor of Rocky Horror Picture Show's 40th anniversary, I have compiled several Rocky Horror Picture Show makeup tutorials to show you guys how to get all of these looks.
I knew Leo G. Carroll was over a barrel when Tarantula took to the hills.
Hi guys, it's Morbid, aka Shannon, and I am here with my magenta makeup. Woo! I don't know what's wrong with me. If you want to know how I got this look, then keep watching. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is prep our face. We want to make sure that our makeup is completely flawless, and the only way it's going to go on flawless is that you prep the skin properly. I have an acne cream, so I'm going to put that on. I've already washed my face and all of that. So for me particularly, I'm a bit more oily, so I have to always make sure that I don't get oily. You can tell by the pictures that magenta is not shiny in any way, so we want to make sure that we stay that way. Okay, so while we're letting that dry, I'm going to start on the eyes. The first thing I'm going to use is a eyeshadow primer to help keep everything on. I've noticed in a lot of tutorials online that some people have their own interpretation of Magenta's makeup, and it doesn't seem accurate. Sorry. You have to understand why she's called Magenta, or rather that her name is very much inspired by how her makeup is done, and her makeup is magenta colored. I still have the packaging and everything. It's just so amazing. I remember when it came in the mail and I'm just like, oh, I mean, look at the packaging inside. It's just... So then most of MAC's palettes actually look like that as far as the arrangement. So as you can tell by the colors inside, we're probably going to be using the black, maybe the silver, and then of course the magenta color here, and then this white as like the highlight. Her makeup is slightly clown-like, which is awesome because, you know, you really want it to show up on the face. So the first thing I'm going to do is I like to use more flat, short-end brushes to put on the blacker colors, the darker colors. I feel like they help place it better. I really hope this doesn't go on patchy. I really hope it goes on nice and smooth. So you can also tell in her pictures that she's double-lidded like me, and so I'm going to bring the black up until my eyeball ends, until it starts going into that socket, and then I'm going to stop because then we can layer the colors better. And don't worry if the black isn't perfect, because it's going to be blended and smoked out, and we're going to be putting some eyeliner on after. Okay, so I'm going to go into a regular eyeshadow brush. This one is a bit fluffier and thicker, so not only is it good for placing product, but it's really good for blending product too. So I'm going to use the silver slightly. This is going to be like a transition color into the magenta color. Take a little bit of that and just apply it right. And you can see that I'm trying to keep the makeup in a domed fashion. Her eye makeup is very rounded, and so we want to make sure we continue that. So as you can see, it's really becoming a nice transition from the black to the silver for us, and it's looking soft, but it's not looking harsh and overly done, which is really great. Peachy. Okay, so now we're going to move to the magenta color. I'm going to switch brushes because I want this to be really, really noticeable. And not only is it rounded, but it's kind of tilted, and then it kind of falls this way, but it's still rounded. Like there's no wing or anything. So I'm trying my best to make it a bit more rounded on this side. Alrighty, let's move on to the magenta on the other eye. Okay, I know it looks like really weird because, you know, our style of makeup in this modern age really isn't like this at all. So it does come off a bit strange, but once everything comes together, it'll obviously work. So, so what I've noticed is that the makeup that she has on, it's really, the highlight, I mean, it really helps structure all of this out. So I'm actually deciding to mix both of these together. This one is a bit like a lilac color, but you can tell it has a lot of shimmer. So I want there to be a lot of dimension and to really bring out the clownness of this style of makeup. So, and I'm pretty much just gonna frame this entire eye area with both shades mixed together. I think I might draw my eyebrows a little bit different, so if the makeup looks a bit off, it's totally going to get fixed, so it's no problem. So I'm moving on to a gel liner. I'm using one from Smashbox, but you can use whatever gel you want, or if you want to use pencil, you can use pencil. Her wing, it's not a wing that goes up, it's a wing that kind of goes down. So it kind of droops the eye. So not only do we have the lifts from the circle shapes up here, but we're also getting a droop that's coming down like this. Just a little bit, so. And of course she has a different eye shape than me, and the way they've done the eyeliner is they made it pretty straight across the bottom, the eyeliner. So instead of showing the curve of the eye, we're going to try to make it as straight as possible. Ta-da! So you see how it's pretty straight on the bottom, but this still kind of droops down, and looks pretty good. So next I'm going to try my best to draw the eyebrows a little bit differently. Her eyebrows go up higher than mine, so I'm going to try my best to achieve that for you. Even though she has a higher arch than I do, the brows seem to come down pretty low, so I'm going to bring the brows down closer to the eyeshadow, but still bring up the arch, if that makes sense. Okay, so the eyebrows are done. So now I'm going to go ahead and put on some primer. And I'm using one that's for oily skin. Because, like I said, she is not shiny whatsoever. So So what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to use my lightest foundation. You really don't want to use just plain white because then it's going to look too ghastly. But you still want her to look really pale. So I'm just going to put a few pumps of that on my hand, and then we're going to set the liquid foundation with a white powder. That way we get the ghostliness without overdoing it, if that makes sense. Okay, so the makeup is on now, so I'm going to use, it's just a regular white powder. I actually got it from like Hot Topic a long time ago, and you can see I'm totally hitting pan and probably going to get some more white powder soon, but I'm just going to use this with a brush and just set it with the white powder. And no, I don't mean translucent. Translucent looks white, but it's not white. It completely absorbs into the foundation just to set it, but this actually has color. So you can already tell a difference by how much whiter my face looks. So by the looks of the picture that I have pulled up, she has a slight bit of blush, and that's pretty much her contour on the side of her cheek. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a very subtle pink. In fact, it's actually quite magenta looking. It's a Sephora color, and it's called Over the Moon, and it looks like this. It's so pretty. So let me go ahead and grab my contour / angle brush here, and I'm just going to suck in my cheeks a little bit to kind of define my cheekbone, and I'm going to use that along the contour. Voila! Of course, if there's any contouring that you want to do, if you want to shape your face a little bit more like hers, then you can. I might do it a little bit and not too much, but I'm just going to take this eyeshadow. It's a cool toned eyeshadow, and I'm just going to contour out some places on my face that I think need to be slimmed out. She has a larger forehead, but it's not as large as mine, so I'm just going to contour my forehead down a smidgen. But try to use cool toned colors when you have a really pale white complexion that you're going for. And I'm just chiseling out my jawline by doing this. So I'm going to go in with a darker, it's like a plum, it looks brown on the outside, but it's a plum lip stain, and I'm just going to fill in my lips with that. And you want to make sure that the Cupid's bow is pointed, because she has a pointed Cupid's bow. And you don't want to put on lip stain while it's still wet, like another color. It's just going to interfere with the way it's drying, and it's going to get all over your other applicator, and it's not cool. So it's actually already dry. It actually dries pretty quickly. Alright, so I'll go on with the next color. And there we go. We have the lips done. So the last step is mascara. I've already primed my lashes with a lash primer, which pretty much nourishes the lashes and makes sure that it does some of the work of the mascara before the mascara. Okay, so now I'm going to put on some lashes. I got these at the local Halloween store. As you can tell, they kind of curl down on the bottom, which is exactly how her lashes look. And then they're kind of just feathered and natural on the top. So the bottom ones I call spider lashes because they look super spidery. Super spidery. Lash glue, I have my lash glue. So I'm going to put on the top ones first because that's going to be the easiest for me. These are also kind of glittery on the end, and even though hers aren't glittery, I feel like they're still effective, and sometimes the lashes that you're looking for exactly, they're just not going to be there. So they're not always going to be available to you is what I'm saying. So now I know not everyone is a fan of falsies, but with this look it's pretty important, so make sure you do it. So this is a cat eye one, so you want to make sure that it's feather out to the outside of it. So wow, these are, I've never worn lashes this insane. Wow. Oh my god. These are gigantic. Woo! Goodness gracious. So, but they look pretty, right? They look really pretty. Okay. That was actually pretty easy to put on. Sometimes they don't put on the lashes all the way and they're really honestly just sitting on my eye, which is totally fine with me as long as they stay put. I don't care. I'm going to turn off the camera and put on the rest of my lashes, so I will be back shortly. Okay, so I finally got them on, and it's the weirdest feeling in the world to have lashes coming down and like hitting your cheek. It's just so weird, but you know what? They look really pretty. So pretty much this is the entire Magenta look. I know it doesn't really look like Magenta that much because I don't have her hair and her outfit, but I'm gonna have all that photoshopped in, of course. So I hope you've enjoyed my look, and stay tuned for the other ones, okay?